Episode 126 of Cal Cagno Radio starts right this second. Before we get into the biggest news of the day, what do you got behind you? What are we listening to today, Joseph?
Pie Tasters Ululu. This is fantastic. So if you guys are not uh, big fans of the Pie Tasters, they're a Washington D.C. ska band. You got to listen to these guys. Fantastic. They've opened for James Brown. Very, very.
That's all you could come up with, James Brown.
Well, I mean, when people hear ska, you automatically think normal ska bands, but these guys have a little bit more soul to them, a little bit more feel.
Okay.
So, like, to be able to open for to be able to open for James Brown, to me, that says something. So,
right, it says they're hand-picked a little bit.
Yeah, they bring a little bit more to the ska palette than your average, overachievers from high school marching band.
Okay, now let me ask you this. While James Brown's seal of approval does go a long way.
Hey, let's
make a wave.
Let's pick up our dogs. Hey.
Make a wave. Face. He doesn't want to do this.
Hey.
Yeah. Someone did that yesterday on a Zoom call that I was on, and I was like, yep, that's it. Like I said before, it's the equivalent of someone punting the football. That's how it goes. You're playing catch with someone.
I've been waiting for Grim to walk down here while we podcast, because for 6 episodes straight you've talked about picking up a dog. So I've been waiting for him to come through.
Well, I appreciate that you did that to start things off. We just cut it short right here. Right. Okay, so let me start before we get any farther. I do want to say one thing. I have to apologize.
Are you going to talk about all those wires hanging behind you? What happened there?
There is more. Just wait. Wait till I turn the camera. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. I'll get there in just a second. First of all, I want to apologize. I was wrong. No one emailed me. No one told me anything. I just saw a thing today that said that, and I quote, 11.5 million people in the United States are hearing impaired or deaf. And that when President Trump does his state of emergency / press conferences, that they are lobbying and asking, please, can you have someone do sign language because we don't know what he's saying. So last week I had said something along the lines of, why do they have somebody doing sign language? It's not like anybody even really needs it because there is closed captioning. So I'm wrong. There's people that actually need it.
So there's no closed captioning?
I don't know, but I just saw the actual headline said 11.5 million people need an interpreter on television and are asking President Trump to do that. So can you please do that?
Oh, yeah. Then what do we know? Then by all means, give him an interpreter.
Exactly.
I was just thinking that's what closed captioning was for.
So did I too, but I was wrong. I'm not afraid to say that I was wrong, and I would like to apologize to anybody who is in the community, the deaf community, or hearing impaired, that I was not sensitive to that.
They don't know that you're apologizing because A, they can't hear you.
Yeah.
B, we don't have an interpreter. C,
and
we have closed captioning turned off. And D, your mouth is being covered by the microphone.
That's true. They don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what I've been waiting to tell you. Okay, you can see behind me the wires, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to turn my computer for a second and see if you can see what else is different about this basement.
Well, you took everything off the right side.
And the ceiling's gone.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, your ceiling.
The entire ceiling is gone.
Okay.
Here's why. About a week ago, young Wendy said to me while we were sitting there watching TV, "Oh, something stinks. It stinks like we've got a dead mouse somewhere in the house."
Uh-oh. I know what death smells like.
So I kind of put it past, maybe it was just something, kind of just a mouse or something. We've had dead mouses in this house.
But it was really the last owner of the home.
Just wait.
Oh, no.
So I come down here 3 nights ago, and the smell is so intense. I mean, it smelled truly like something died. It was burning the nostrils, and you couldn't really tell where it was coming from. Now, I pulled down part of the ceiling and realized there is mouse crap everywhere, which means mice have been living in our ceiling of our basement for quite some time.
Okay.
We have had a mouse problem. I've told you that before. It's really gross. But this was bad. So I start pulling down parts of the ceiling. Well, what I didn't realize is they were all like,
are you wearing a mask?
A mask.
All that,
and
I was going to say, because inhaling all that stuff is bad for you.
Mask and gloves. I have both on.
Okay, good.
I'm taking down the ceiling and laying it down. There's mouse poop everywhere. It's hitting me in the face. Like, oh, it's in my hair. It's in my hair. Like, I'm like a girl in a bad horror movie when the bats come, like, ah, covering my hair. Wait for it. That's all I'll say, Joe. So that's night number one. I stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning tearing down the ceiling.
Okay.
Nothing. Smell's still there. Get up in the morning. Spent 3 hours taking all the stuff off the walls, pulling down the drywall that was there that I put in. And let's face it, it looked kind of shady to begin with. It wasn't done very well. Taking out insulation. The insulation has nests in there of mice. Nests. Ooh. So there's poop in there. There's old leaves. There's hair. And I'm like, oh, my God, this has got to be it. Well, I uncorked the smell at that point. Now our whole house on Wednesday smelled completely like something had died.
I am on the edge of my seat right now. I would have paid $7 to hear this story.
Okay.
I'm loving this.
Okay. So flash forward to...
You're telling it amazing. I wish I would have brought a drink down. I can honestly say in the last 17 days of my life, this is the best. I'm all in on this story.
Okay. So I pull all of the insulation out, still reeks. Take a bottle of bleach and I'm spraying every section that used to have a mouse nest in it, any sort of insulation that looked like it had pee on it, anything, spraying it down. Gloves, mask, the whole deal. Okay? So now I've got nothing down here, no ceiling, but the smell remains. Oh. And I'm thinking,
this could be the name of my next album.
Yeah, I'm like, why can I not find this mouse that's dead? So I'm sitting down here, and I came down here yesterday, like right around 3 o'clock, and I'm like looking around, and every time I stood in this one spot, it was like my nose had pinpointed exactly where the smell was coming from.
Okay.
So I pull out my camera. I'm looking. I'm honestly taking pictures of things I can't see. Nothing. So I go upstairs. And much like that moment in Christmas Vacation where all of a sudden it dawns on Ellen that maybe it's the switch that's the problem, why the lights aren't going on outside, where she says, oh, I think to myself, maybe, just maybe I should take a rake or something and sweep underneath the bay window that's right outside of here.
Okay.
Just drag something. Maybe there's a dead mouse under there.
Inside the house or outside
the house?
Okay.
So I go out there in my jeans and my sweater, and I take a rake and I slide it about 4 feet in and start to drag it. And now I'm caught on something.
Oh, it's the old woman from the porta potty.
She just wakes up and is like, you like what you see? You want to get a good look at it?
What are you smelling? What are you smelling, pervert?
So I get caught, and all of a sudden I'm like, ugh, and out comes all this hair.
Oh, were you caught on a belt buckle?
No, but there was a ton of hair. So everyone came out of the house. Everyone came out of the house.
You said
and mind
Grant
you,
underneath there with gloves?
No, Grant came out, and everyone quickly realized where the smell was coming from and what it was that was making it smell. I finally, boink, get it out. It comes flying out. It is a 10-pound possum that was dead under my bay window.
Oh, my word.
It is now late. I'm like it was bad. I took a picture of it, so I didn't send it to you yet, and I didn't comment on your Facebook post because of this. Joe, it smelled so bad. Like, I don't know.
I understand the smell of death.
Yeah.
Was it inflated like a balloon, like all the gases, or had it cracked already?
No, it was still.
Because go on.
No, you go on. No, you go on.
Oh,
no, I want to hear what you were saying.
Like the dead things that I'm used to and that I've dealt with, when they die, they fill with gases.
Oh.
And obviously, like you smell them as they're rotting, but all those gases get trapped, and then after a long enough time, they crack open like a hot dog on a grill.
Ew.
But if they haven't cracked yet, they're just full of gas. And then like sometimes if you flick it with the rake, just them like flipping over will pop them like a water balloon.
No. None of that happened, thank God.
So
but
it had already cracked open. That's probably why it smelled so bad.
Oh, you think? Probably. I would imagine so. It smelled horrible. Now, the other thing I realized while taking out all this insulation is I had a gap about maybe 2 inches all the way underneath that bay window. All the mice were coming in there because I had nothing stopping them from coming in outside except for insulation, which they were living.
Oh, wow.
In. So,
okay.
Needless to say, I get out the garbage bag, pull out the pooper scooper, and try to put it in the bag without touching it.
Oh, I would have kicked it into the neighbor's yard. I would have just dropped
my Romanian neighbor in his tight shirt when it came out. Like, what is that smell?
He would have ate it.
So it got caught underneath the bay window and died. But dude, I'm not joking. This morning, even though I had a hole in my outside that was yay big, didn't smell at all. Like life was better. And it turns out the easiest solution was not to tear down the ceiling or all the walls, was maybe to check outside. But I never thought the smell was coming from outside. It was that bad.
I would have to think that of the thousands of listeners that are listening to this show right now, they would have started doing I think we all would have done the same thing. We would have checked inside our house because you don't think that it's outside. You know, like every now and then, especially when I lived in Clawson, I would have like something die underneath my deck in the
that's
backyard.
The same type of thing. Yeah.
So it would be like, I think, but I remember one summer something died and underneath it, but so the scent started outside. So if I was on my deck grilling, I'd be like, something's under here. It was never where we were smelling it inside first.
Well, and here's the thing. You could smell it, and now it all makes sense, right? It's like one of those movies, like Knives Out, where it all makes sense in the end, where you're like, clearly this made sense. Wendy, when she's sitting in the living room saying it smells, is arguably 3 feet away from it, really. It's outside and underneath the overhang, but she's still very close to it because she's next to the window. When we come downstairs, we stand up against the wall. It's probably a foot from us, but again, outside underneath something. So anyways, I ended up putting something on Facebook. Someone, I didn't know if anybody would even be able to fix windows / siding / bay windows. But yeah, there was a company that was able to do it. They came by today, redid the whole thing. It's not completely done. They just got to put the siding on tomorrow. But like, yeah, they were like, there's tons.
I thought you would have done that. You're like a handy guy.
I'm super handy, but this one I think was above my expertise. Like this. Well, yeah, these guys came here at like 9 this morning and left at 4:30 and are going to come back tomorrow. And these guys are professionals. So like, I don't know. I was a little worried though that like the cops were going to come by and give them a ticket.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, because I've heard of these people. So I had these friends of ours who they had like, someone's 25-year-old son who's like, he's just looking for work. Can you give him any handiwork? And they were like, okay, fine. Send them up north and put the dock in the water. And he got up there and it was like halfway in. It was like, woo woo. Can we see your license? And it said they lived in like, Macomb Township. And they were like, all right, here's $1,000 ticket. Stay at home orders. And like, you clearly don't live in Alpena. Like, thanks for coming up. $1,000 for you and $1,000 for your buddy.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah. So there you go. So I had a dead possum underneath my, I guess, overhang. It smelled so bad though. Like literally, like I got in bed last night. I was like, thank you, Lord, for letting me find the stink. Cause it was so bad.
I had to clean up a dead cat once.
Oh God.
It was like a 95-degree humid day.
Oh yeah. See, that would have been bad.
You could, dude, I am not lying about this. You could smell this cat. You could smell this cat a block away. And when I finally pinpointed where it was, this cat that was like a normal house cat was like the size of a beach ball.
Oh.
I had nothing to pick it up with. So I went to the closest house, and long story as to why I'm there, right? Don't ask that question.
Doesn't matter. Whatever it is, what it is.
And so I go up to the nearest house. I'm like, yeah, do you have like a shovel I could use? And they're like, oh, yeah. Say, give me the shovel. I go out there.
You're like, I hope you don't want this thing back because it's going to smell like this forever.
Fluffy. Yeah, I hope you don't want Fluffy back.
No, I mean the shovel.
Oh,
because
the shovel?
The rake I used yesterday, like I was like, I might as well just burn this.
Absolutely.
That smell of death never goes away.
No, it doesn't. And so I take the shovel, and I had a bag. So I go to put the cat in the bag. And just like I said earlier, as soon as I touched, you've already brought it up, Christmas Vacation.
Yep.
As soon as Clark touches the turkey, how it just broke open, this cat breaks open like a water balloon, and it was just full. And as soon as I touched it it just nothing left. Like there was nothing to pick up with the shovel. It like, and so I was just like, So I took the shovel back up to the people's house, and like, they never even came out of their house. I just turned their hose on the side, rinsed their shovel off, and left. Like,
like you're like, this isn't my job.
Yeah, this rotten cat I couldn't do anything with it. So it just this pile of muck. It went from like a beach ball sized cat to just this pile of muck and fur. And I was like, I'm out.
Yep. You're like, cool. This was fun.
Yeah.
Cross it off the list of the things they asked you to do.
Right.
You're like, someone asked me to do this, but so here you go. I did it. And if you need anything else, let me know. I'll be back at home. Asleep.
Costco vermin control.
Yeah, exactly. So that was what happened to me. But yeah, it's been kind of a crazy week because of that, only because the whole time we're sitting there watching TV together as a family, you're like, I wish I had some of that Vicks vapor rub that they use in Silence of the Lambs. Think they use that in real life where they, put it underneath. Is it Vicks vapor rub that they use?
Yes, they do use it in real life.
And what you put it on there, to cover the scent?
Yeah, you just glop it on your nose so you don't have to smell it. Yeah, that's no joke. I've heard it's awful.
Yeah, it sounds awful. Okay, so what is going on with you? I feel bad. We have not rehearsed any of this beforehand. I feel like we're gonna kind of wing it a little bit. I have no idea what he's gonna say next, but I'll be honest with you. We're at the first segment. We're at about 18 minutes right now, and I can hit him with the Who Let the Juniors Out, or we can switch gears a little bit and go whatever you want to talk about.
No, we can switch gears. One thing I got today that I kind of like. It's kind of like
syphilis.
Christmas. It's kind of like Christmas when you get home from work and there's the big box of like your home food delivery kit. So like I get that every plate, which is like that? It's like Blue Apron or whatever other like
Hello Fresh.
Yeah, like whatever home meal kit.
Yeah.
So I get home today. I'm thinking like, what do I want for dinner? I'm like,
You're like, you know what sounds good? Saffron chicken.
That's about it.
You know what sounds good for chicken? You know what sounds good tonight? Fried okra. Hopefully I have a deep fryer because that's what I'm going to be making with saffron.
Right. No, it is. It's like kind of like those gourmet meals, but they're easy gourmet. I'm like driving home. I'm like, man, I don't want to stop at a grocery store. And because tonight I'm having a Zoom draft party. So the NFL draft is tonight.
And I'm lame. Lame.
It's something to do. So like basically like me and a couple buddies from work are Zooming and we're going to watch the NFL draft and just talk crap. And I didn't invent, but I thought of a game. So we're each putting in $10 and then you're filling out however many teams are on the NFL, 32.
Yeah.
So you pick who goes.
You're filling out however many, 6. I'm like,
right.
You're like, is Bronco Nagurski, does he still play?
So what you do is the game is going to be, if you get the first round, basically you're trying to predict who's picked where. And if you
Okay.
get them, you get a point, and whoever has the most points for the most, people that they picked, they win the kitty. So
I like it. I like that. That's kind
yeah,
of
so we're
fun.
gonna do that. So I'm doing that tonight, and I was like, man, I don't want to stop by the grocery store, and I don't know what I'm gonna eat. And my wife is like straight up moved out of the house. So my wife, I know we've been talking about this. So with quarantine and stuff, with my job and having to deal with people on the regular and all sorts of crazy situations, to keep her safe from all the people that I have to come in contact with, she's basically staying in another house.
Whose
So, like,
house?
it's her ex-husband's house. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not.
So-
It's totally normal. Let's dive into this a little bit. Let's go
Okay.
ahead and dissect this. Let's
Yeah,
go ahead. Let's
let's
go ahead
do
and
it.
dissect this.
Let
Wait
me
a
get
second.
comfy.
How do you feel about that? That she's at her. Wait. How? Where does her ex-boyfriend or her ex-husband? Even better. Where?
Could
And
be
they have a.
boyfriend. I don't have a clue.
Yeah. They have
Her
a.
ex-hus- her ex-husband, he's a really cool guy.
Sure he is. To your
like him a
face.
lot. Well, that could be truth too.
Yeah.
He lives in Chicago. So during this quarantine, he's been staying in Chicago, and then my stepdaughter, who normally,
You're
is
like,
with
he's a really good guy and a total chump. He plays for the White Sox. Like this, you just like, you know what I mean? Everything's like great about him. You're like, he's the greatest. He gives us tickets all the time to games because he's a professional athlete. We're all like, bail out. Bail out.
Well, so he lives in Chicago, and whenever he has time with his daughter, he comes back here to Michigan to be with her. And in doing so, like, he rents a home here in Royal Oak. So his home has been empty because during quarantine he stayed.
Wait, so he's got the kind of dough, and good for him. I'm going to say good for him. He's got the kind of dough to rent a place,
I guess.
even though he doesn't live there 95% of the time.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yes.
so he's not there. Just to be clear for everybody out there listening, he's not there right now while your wife, his ex-wife,
correct. And they're on good terms. They're on good
sure
terms.
they are.
And
Sure
so
they
she's been
are.
going over there. Like, she works over there. So she leaves here at like 8 a.m. and then comes back at like 10 o'clock at night. So I got the house to myself.
Yeah.
And so like today at work, I'm like, hey, you guys want to do a draft party? So doing all that stuff. So that whole thing coming full circle. I get home, I'm pulling up to the house. I see the every plate or whatever. And I'm like, yes, I'm having like Szechuan pork chops with like,
nice.
grilled zucchini. Grilled zucchini, all this stuff. And then we're gonna do this draft party.
Nice. Now, does your wife? Let's go back to this for a second.
Okay.
So your wife is gone from what time to what time mostly?
She's only started doing this like the last maybe 3 or 4 days.
She's like, we're on the goal line of this quarantine. I might as well get super kooky.
We're not on the goal line.
Oh, you don't think so?
Not at
What
all.
do you-
They just extended it till the end of May.
Who said that?
Today it came out that everything was being extended till the end of May.
What is?
This whole quarantine thing, man.
Who said that?
Dude, I heard it on the radio. I don't know. They said it's being extended till the end of May.
Tomorrow, Whitmer comes out with her thing. She's going to say tomorrow what the story is.
Okay. Well, today I heard on the radio, I heard that it was being extended. So maybe
Tell me you heard this on 97.1. Tell me it was 97.1.
it was 97.
Yeah,
It's
because
either
they
that
have-
or even Chuck the Freak. 'Cause that's all I listen to.
Who let the juniors out? Who
Wait,
let
I'm not done with my
the
story.
juniors out?
Talking about this.
Wow.
They are funny.
We're not. Listen, I am not spending. I am not joking you. I am not going to give Dave and Chuck the Freak any airtime on this
I'll
podcast
give
at
a
all.
love. They're funny.
No. Hey, no. Anyways, so what? Who let the juniors out? Who let the juniors out?
Hey, just because they gave you death threats,
No,
just
hey, for the
just
record, they didn't give me that.
supported just because they supported a sleeper cell that was going to come to your house and slit your throat. Doesn't mean they can't be funny too.
Anyways, okay, so go back to your wife for a second because I don't want to talk about the Whitmer thing because I don't know that to be true. I think she
Okay.
comes out tomorrow.
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to talk about David Chuck the Freak. Okay. And the fact that your loyalties have come out big time right now.
Well, back to
Hey, I
Yeah,
got
my
some. I got something locked and loaded, but I won't say it. I won't say it.
my
Okay.
loyalties because I'm getting a dime from David Chuck. No,
You're getting exactly the same amount of money from them as you are from me for doing this.
yeah, but this is fun for us.
Exactly. Okay. So,
But no, this whole thing started about 3 or 4 days ago because her ex texted me and said, "Hey, if I send you a key to my house, would you stop by and like check on it?" You know, I mean, he hasn't been here in over a month. So he's like, will you check on it, make sure,
you're like, sure thing, Ricky, or whatever his name is. You
Right.
got it, buddy. Anything else I can do? Want me to send you some naked pictures of our wife?
Hey, come on now. And so when he said that, so he gave us
remember these?
so he gave us the key. I'm gonna keep going here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I know you're getting back at me for my comments about David
I
Chuck
can't
Freak.
believe you did that on this show.
You're coming at me with this.
Okay, go ahead. You were saying.
So he sent the key. So then Molly went over there to like check on his house and stuff, and then had also like talked to him. Was like, dude, I can just kind of stay here most of the day to stay away from Joe and to stay away from like if the house is contaminated or if he's contaminated. So it's just an added layer of protection, I guess.
Okay, now when she returns
at the end of the day, I get a house to myself. So
right, which is kind of, I hate to say it, but like you're kind of living every man's dream right now because you have the best of both worlds. That you are married, you have the stable home that you want, you have a wife that you love, that you appreciate, but also you get a little alone time.
Half truths.
Yeah. You're like, let's not say things we can't take back, okay?
I mean, those that are on here that are married, they know that everything that you just said, just because you're married, doesn't mean it's bliss.
She's standing right over there, dude. Hey, she's standing right at the bottom of the stairs.
Yeah, she's not wearing headphones.
Yeah.
So,
no, she can hear me, though. Don't kid yourself. She can hear me.
Just talking code.
Anyways, okay. So when she comes home, though, are you like waiting like with like a silk robe on, like I want to get with you?
No, I'm asleep.
Oh,
yeah, I'm asleep.
When was the last time you physically saw her? You're like, what month is this?
No. Today's Thursday. I haven't seen her yet today. I didn't see her yesterday, so Tuesday was the last time I saw her.
Yeah, have you talked to her?
Yeah. We talk and we text. Yeah.
Okay, so you do know that. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah,
because
she's as still in my life.
Okay. You're like, she moved away. She'll call her stuff, but she'll be back. I'm like, sure about that?
Yeah. No.
You're like, no, she's coming back. She's coming back.
Right. She said she would never leave me. She said she'd never leave me. I
got nowhere to go.
Yeah.
Abacal Cagno Radio continues now, and I'm under 2 minutes on the Rubik's Cube, buddy. Under 2 minutes on the Rubik's Cube. Did it last night, right in Grant's face.
But here's the thing, though. I don't know if listeners are feeling like this, too. Now that you've told us how a Rubik's Cube is done, I feel like it's less impressive.
I would agree with that completely.
Like before, I'm thinking that like your brain is like Einstein, and now that you've told me the center one on each side, and then there's kind of like a rhythm that like goes to it. Now I'm like, oh, so it's just like any other magic. Like there's a trick to it. Whereas prior,
without a doubt.
Prior, I'm just thinking that it's just like random whatever that someone's getting it back together.
Yeah. Now, here's what I will tell you. I could teach you how to do a Rubik's Cube, even though I don't have the same order right this second. Like, no one would want to listen to it, but like, yeah, it's not as hard as you think.
Okay.
The thing is that like, and this is where I get super nerdy. When you start to learn like what they call
this is. I was thinking that started when you put that shirt on.
It looked like Where's Waldo's gay brother.
Looked like a mime. You need you need like the little lips, like kissy face.
like Paul Stanley from Kiss.
Exactly.
Dude,
Exactly.
I read a story about Kiss, and I'll get back to my Rubik's Cube in a second. I read a story about Kiss one time that they were playing a show at DTE. Now, mind you, this might have been like their 6th final tour. You know how they would always do like a final tour?
Yeah.
They were playing a show at DTE, and between like Cleveland and here, their pyrotechnic truck blew up. So
some dude was smoking, put his cigarette out the window, and it flew back. Do you smell something?
yeah, he's like, no, I don't know it.
Hey, Dean, do you smell something? No, I don't. Huh.
Boo! So they're sitting at DTE, and they realize during like sound check that the pyrotechnics are not going to be available. They called off the show because, quote, when you go to a Kiss show, you expect pyrotechnics and you will be let down. You do?
I agree. It's a concert. At the end of the day, it's a concert, right?
It's a performance.
So they can cancel it and reschedule it for 3 months down, 3 months later. So everyone who bought tickets I guarantee if you talk to those Kiss fans,
Hang on, I got to get them on the line.
They would be happier to say, oh, it's postponed, and instead of being in June, it's going to be in August, and you get the full Kiss show, then
Hey, some guy with sparklers comes out there.
Yeah, the demon comes out without makeup and acoustic guitar, and you're like, this isn't Kiss. Like, what is this?
Okay, maybe when you put it that way.
Think about it. You would get pissed if you went to a Tigers game and Miggy didn't play.
Yes.
So,
wow.
The Bulls come to town and like Jordan wasn't a part of it. Whatever the case may be, like you would get pissed. So when it's a band like Kiss, absolutely I buy into that.
Okay.
If it was Jimmy Eat World and they were like, just a normal like rock band.
Yeah, if Jimmy Eat World's like video wall wasn't working, so that like scroll the lyrics or whatever, you'd be like, okay, cool, I get it.
Yeah, you'd be like, come on, man, like just play the show. That's not going to make a difference. Like we don't come to see that. I come to hear the music. When you go to see Kiss, the music sucks. You go to see the performance.
That is true.
Close your eyes, the music of Kiss does not match what you're looking at.
Oh, no, for sure.
What I'm looking at should sound like Slipknot.
Right.
Okay. or at least an earlier version. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll tell you,
involved.
When the kids were little, I remember the first time they saw a picture of Kiss. And in order to get them to not be scared of Kiss, I played them a song. Like that's all. Yeah. But Beth, what can I do? Hey, me and the boys will be playing all night. I always thought that was a really weird line.
Oh, it's real
weird. Yeah, that whole song. Well, the weirdest part about that song is Peter Criss sings it with the full cat makeup, and he's, Beth, I hear you calling, but I can't come home right now.
And like you think if you heard that song first, you'd think like, oh, these guys must look like the Traveling Wilburys.
Exactly.
This must be like, Tom Petty, Roy Orbison.
Right.
And then you see them and you're like, they're spitting blood. And they got the fire and they got the giant boots. They got the giant boots and like
no shirts on, full chest hair.
Yeah, looking like a gimp with the big boots and the demons and the wings and all that. And you're like, wait, they sang that? Like, are you kidding me?
Even Detroit Rock City.
Right.
It's like,
I take back what I said about Slipknot. Like, Slipknot is so unique. But like,
are they though?
Yes, as far as the music they play, yeah. I mean, they have multiple percussionists. But I'm just saying, like Kiss, and for like when they started, they should at least sound like Metallica and Justice for All.
Yeah,
they should at least be like that kind of sound, but they're nothing like that. Well, they're like this pansy, wussy rock. I even have it trouble calling it rock.
Well, yeah, I mean they're basically like a pop act, sort of, under the guise of a rock act. Like, lick it up, lick it up.
Hey, I'm
Ah!
gonna say it. They're yacht rock. I'm gonna say it. They're yacht rock with badass makeup.
Yeah, I mean
That's
the makeup
all
is
they
sweet.
are.
Don't kid yourself. The makeup
That's
is
all
sweet.
they are.
I wanna rock and roll all night.
And
Dude,
what?
that's yacht.
And
That's-
party every day.
I want what does it say on Role Models, that movie, when he's making fun of Kiss? He's like, I want to rock all night and part of every day. And they're like, no, it's party. He's like, no, I'm pretty sure it's part of.
I want to rock. I want to rock and roll all night and part of every day. I like that. I like that a lot. No. So anyways, yeah. So the Kiss show. But when I heard that story, I'm like, dude, that is so Kiss. But now that you put it into perspective that way, you're right. When I have gone to Tigers games and Miggy's sitting out, or you go to, a later in the season Lions game and the starters don't play, you're like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I paid good money. I wanted blood spit on me.
Exactly. Like the Tigers lineup period of last year. Like every ticket should have been like half off because they had no stars on the team.
Unless
then
he was playing.
Yeah, unless Miggy was playing, and then he didn't play in like 70% of the games, and you're just like, what did I like? I could have stayed home and watched Royal Oak play Farmington Hills Stevenson at the ball field by my house, and it would have been better baseball.
Yes.
I could have went to the Birmingham Diamond Hoppers versus the Utica Unicorns.
Right, at Jimmy John's Field.
At Jimmy John's Field, got $1 hot dogs and $2 beers.
Is that what it is over there?
Yeah.
That's clean fun, clean living. That's a cheap date.
$1 hot dogs. Sometimes they even do $1 beers.
Wow, dude, that's a bad idea waiting to happen. Are they like Dixie cup size or are they like legit size?
They're normal size. Now, mind you, I've never been. This is just what I've heard from friends that have gone. But yeah, they'll do, like, if you look at their schedule, it'll tell you like what it is. Like maybe a hot dog normally is like $2.50, but then they'll have like their $1 dog days. They'll have $1 beers.
Isn't it funny?
It'll say on the schedule what it is.
Isn't it funny how we get so used to terrible prices at the ball game? And listen, $1 beers is a good deal. Don't get me wrong. But it's funny how like we're like, hot dogs are normally $3. Like you can get a whole package of hot dogs for $3.
Right.
But like you go to the movies or you go to a game and you get so used to spending so much money that you're like, this is amazing. I don't know if I told you, but when we were down in Miami last year, did I ever tell you that we went to a game there? We went to a baseball game for the Miami Marlins. Now they play indoors, which is super weird. We got to the game, and you swear I haven't told you the story.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's not the greatest story ever. I'm teeing it up like there's going to be a dead possum at the end of it, but no. But we
I'm
went
more
to
concerned about you continuing to monkey with your headphones.
Okay, you want to know what's going on? Is that if I realize I cannot hear myself speaking at all right now.
I don't either.
And I don't know why that is. I don't know why. And so like if I plug this into the board, which I'm going to do right now.
Okay, go back to the baseball story.
Hang on. If I do this, I can hear myself, but I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, well it's not great. Anyway, so I'll go back in here. Anyway. So when we went to their game though, I'm not joking, at the time of the first pitch, there was literally 1,200 people there. No one goes to the games. There's talk about moving the team. But the thing that was crazy is that they have all their concessions are super cheap. Like you're kind of like, what am I missing here?
Like the Atlanta Falcons.
Are they like that too?
The Atlanta Falcons like started that. Like the Atlanta Falcons were like, we are charging like what would be considered normal price for stuff.
Oh, so, no, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you go to an Atlanta Falcons football game, like beers are like, I think they're like $5. And then like hot dogs are $2.50 and things like that. Like
that's what it is. Yeah.
The owner of the Falcons have said like, we're not doing this with concessions anymore. We're not raping families. People can come down. They're paying enough for a ticket and then we're going to feed them.
I was going to say, you're going to run into a lot of that as we reopen this because people aren't going to spend the kind of money they used to. Especially, I'm telling you, once people get a taste of, where people are like, you know what? They're going to open up the Lions. The Lions are going to play for nobody. There'll be an empty stadium, but you can still watch it on TV. People will be like, for free? And they'll be like, yep. And you're like, okay.
No,
and then when
I think you're wrong.
Dude, why are you challenging me so much on this podcast? It's almost like we're co-hosts.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Isn't that what we're supposed to do?
I'm totally joking. Go ahead.
But no, I think there's always status. Me and you don't care about it. We go to football games to like watch our team play, but
then leave early to beat traffic.
Exactly, but there's douchebags that go to be seen. I mean, think about the Red Wings in the 90s. Like, you couldn't get a ticket to a Red Wing game in the 90s and 2000s. You could not get a ticket to a Red Wing game, yet you turn it on and seats are empty because it's all these douchebags that buy all the tickets for status to take clients.
Yeah.
And then if they're not taking clients, those seats are just empty.
Right.
I remember, Tim Tabor.
Absolutely.
So Tim Tabor in Anaheim, there's the Anaheim Ducks that play in the NHL. And like, it's a big deal to go to like an Anaheim game because all the California like companies and businessmen and agents and all those guys buy those tickets. So like what I've been told is like normal fans don't go to Anaheim Ducks games. It's like you go because it's a party. It's who you know. It's rubbing elbows.
Yeah,
exactly. It's networking, and there happens to be a game going. Not
right.
One person in that stadium can name 3 people playing on the ice, but the place is packed.
Right.
So that's what I think. I think when all this starts back up again, a lot of people like families and stuff, the people that don't care to begin with, they're going to be like, you know what? Maybe our lives are better off like going to the park on a Saturday or a Sunday, not spending all day in front of a TV watching sports.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
But I still think there's going to be, I mean, all it takes, what's it called? Ford Field only holds what, 40,000?
I think, isn't it 60 or am I wrong? Maybe 60. I think Comerica's about 40, 45, and then I think 60 at Ford Field, but I could be wrong.
So, I mean, you think in the greater Detroit area, like everyone who calls themselves like a Lions fan,
yeah,
you're only talking, you need 60,000 people to continue to drink.
And there's only 8, and there's only 8 games.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing.
So people are like, oh, we're going to go, and you're just like, well, okay.
Yeah, have fun, fill your boots.
Right.
Fill your boots.
And I mean, same thing with like Red Wings, Pistons, anything like that. It's just people are going to go because everything that we're going through now in 2 years will be forgotten. Look at 9/11. Yeah. After 9/11, like
I would prefer not to look at that. Thank you.
Everybody was opening doors for everyone, paying for the person behind you in the drive-through line. And where did that go? Look at us now. We're divided politically. We're divided religiously. I mean, our country's horrible. With that being said, people are just going to go back to watching sports.
Yeah. Can we talk about for a second that I don't want to get into the whole validity of the people that are trying to get the state to open up early. But did you see the other day that there was people playing Born in the USA as like the chant, like as the rallying cry? Which how many times can we go over this? That is not a pro-U.S. song.
Correct. Right. It's not pro-U.S.
No, it's not at all.
Like, if you want pro-U.S., sing
Lee Greenwood.
Yeah, Proud to be an American or something
Lee frickin' Greenwood.
Yeah.
And you realize right
American
now
Idiot by Green Day.
his spidey senses just went off, Lee Greenwood, because he was like, hey, is there a parade somewhere I can be in? Because I'm proud to be an American. He's like, I need a next line. Someone's like,
just ripped a huge fart.
Oh, sorry. Does it smell? You did?
Awful. Grim did.
Oh, I thought, dude, you broke up. It literally, when you listen back to this, it sounds like this. Just ripped a huge fart. I'm like, dude, why are you telling everybody that?
Grimson.
Hey,
he's looking at me like, yeah, so?
Okay, so we talked about this Facebook thing. I want to switch gears for a second. Have we talked about this Facebook thing where people are posting pictures of themselves in high school? Did we talk about this?
No, we didn't.
Okay, have you seen this?
Yes. In like support of like seniors.
You're telling me that a senior like my niece, who has just had her entire year ruined, who's been crying for days, is like, wait a minute.
See my senior picture.
Who's like, wait a minute, I didn't have prom, I didn't have graduation. I didn't defend a state title in soccer. I never finished basketball. I may not see my friends for a long time, but you know what? Seeing a picture of Joe with hair as a senior really lift my spirits. Like, first of all, and are the seniors in high school even on Facebook?
No. I mean, I heard my kids talk the other day. I said something about Facebook, and I heard them talk to each other. They're like, Facebook's for oldies.
Yeah, true.
They always call old people oldies.
Well,
they're like, Facebook is an old thing.
Yeah, it's totally for oldies.
So I don't think like kids are clamoring to like they graduate high school and get a Facebook account. Like they don't care. Hannah doesn't care.
No.
Like I said, if I post me in my picture like laying down with like my bangs and stuff like that, what is that doing for Hannah?
Well, exactly.
She looks at that photo and like, yeah, that jackhole, he got to have a prom. That jackhole got to, whatever. Yeah,
here's the thing. If
I
you
don't
want
know
to post a picture
make it up to him.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you want to post a picture of yourself in high school because it's funny or cute or whatever, that's fine. But don't do it because you're somehow pretending that's doing something to like raise the morale of an 18-year-old kid who didn't get to have his senior year. Now, I will tell you as somebody who's on the other side of this, you know what? Your prom isn't going to be as much fun as you think it's going to be. I didn't have as much fun. It was fine. Graduation.
Go to mine.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. And how do you feel about that now? Do you wish you could have gone back?
No, I don't
exactly. High school is not something I look back on. I'm like, you know what? I wish I could go back to high school.
Michelle Ray wouldn't take me. Amy Lambert took somebody else, so I was angry and didn't go.
But hey, look what they're doing now. You have them on Facebook, and they can look at your old picture and be like, hey, remember that?
Right. I'm sure they I'm sure they rue the day on that one.
Okay, I'll hit it again. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, you're fine.
That's it. We're at 48 minutes. We're going to wrap it up. Episode 126 to 125. 126.
125.
No. It's 126.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Let me pull it up here.
Yeah, 125 was the other day. I posted it. We recorded it on Thursday. I didn't post it till
it's 126. We've been saying 125 all day.
Well, whatever. We'll roll with it. Episode 126 of Cal Cagno Radio ends right this second. I'm not going to ask where they can find you on. Yeah, I should just kill it right there.
Yeah.
Should I?
No. Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I'm not going to ask you where they can find you on Instagram. I'm just going to ask you, will we get through this together? And what's the other thing that everybody always says? We're going to get through this, and we're all in this together, or something. They're always like, you know how they always say the same thing about this?
No, I have no clue what you're talking about. Are you talking about the virus? You're talking about the podcast. I don't have a clue what you're talking about. We went from one episode we're on to like you're talking about getting through something together. I don't know what you're talking about.
Have a great day.
No, the virus, we're not. Let's be honest, we're not going to get through this together. Because people are going down every day. We're not going to get through it together.
Wow.
Majority of us will get through this.
Yeah.
And I hope all of our listeners are part of that majority.
Yes.
But let's be honest, we don't know what's up. I might not be here next week for the next taping. I may be worm food, as they say.
Bloated, just waiting to be poked. So all the gas can come out. Have a great day, everybody. On that note, we love you.